chimney, man. Motherfucker looked cool as a cucumber with a fag. If there's anything I've learned through these 27 years that I'm here on this earth, is that it's like you want to have your own mind, and you want to have your own opinion, and that life is all about perspective. You know what I mean? Like there's no one objective truth if you really look at that shit. I think it's all just I think it's just like a hive group fucking mentality, that there is no one objective truth. There's always gonna be different ways to look at things, you know what I mean? And it all depends on what you've been through, what you learned, what you took away from that shit. And kind of mixture of your experience, you know, what you've been through, what you've learned, and all that shit. And everyone's gonna have a different experience, you know. And even if you go through the same shit as somebody else, you're gonna take away like different things, you know what I mean? You're gonna perceive it in a different way, you know what I mean? Because we all have different personalities and stuff, you know what I mean? I've had mental issues and struggles and whatever the fuck since I can remember myself. But I think they really kicked in when I was around 15, 16, you know what I mean? That's when they really kicked in. And I started looking at things for what they are. I gained this kind of a consciousness that I didn't have before. And yeah, I think when you're a child, you look at the world really innocent, and you look at your parents like these perfect specimens, right? That they can't do nothing wrong. And they're like these, I don't know, like these gods in your eyes. And everything they do is perfect, and you want to be just like them. But I think as you move into your teenage years, you become more conscious and more self-aware of yourself and everything around you. And that kind of naive, kind of childish, kind of blind mindset kind of gets like stripped away from you, and you just grow the fuck up, and you start seeing world for what it is. You start seeing that it's not perfect, it's very flawed, and you start noticing all these flaws, not only in yourself, but all around you, you know, in your parents and people around you. And I think that's why it is like so hard on teenagers and why they're so like moody and shit. But yeah, I think they're waking up to how the world really is. And it's a hard pill to swallow, and it's not this perfect fucking world that you thought it was when you were a child. As you mature, as you get older, you know, as you become a full-grown adult, you kind of become more, you know, more in peace with this stuff, you know. Like, stuff doesn't bother you anymore. Like you're not as angry as you used to be. And I know you start to have more priorities, and you kind of prioritize the stuff that really matters to you, and the stuff that's really important, and stuff that makes you feel alive and in the moment, and yeah, like your circle of friends gets smaller and smaller, you know. And I always had this kind of weird fucking feeling that like the closer I got to who I wanted to be, who I thought I should be, the more people kind of drifted away from me for some fucking reason. And it just, I don't know. I mean, does that mean that I'm this horrible fucking shitty human being? Or does that mean that our perspectives are different and that we can find this compromise, that we can just, you know, agree to disagree, that we're different people, and if, you know, those people that you thought were your friends, they don't respect your differences, your difference of opinion and your perspective, then, you know, what's the fucking point of even having friends like that, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you want to have friends that are, you know, different, like similar in a way with you, but different, so you can grow and learn like different things, and like, you know, like grow as a human being and spiritually and all that. And when someone's an exact fucking copy of you, there's not going to be much growth there, I think. And, you know, when you like the same shit and you think the same way, like there's not going to be that challenge to think differently or grow, or, you know, there's not going to be, without a struggle there's no growth. And I think I just think like some of those like childhood friends, they kind of hold you back, and you kind of have to go away for a while and like figure things out for yourself and find out who you really are. And then when you find who you are, and you can try to reconnect again, and, you know, see if that friendship still works, you know. And if they've grown through, you know, some stuff, and they're gonna appreciate and they're gonna respect your differences, you know. Because, you know, friend is someone who cares about you and who wants to see you grow and, you know, change and stuff, you know. And I don't know, I just think it's cool that you might be a bit reserved or shy or the fuck, and you have this like friend who's, you know, very extroverted and, you know, chatty and all this shit. I think it's cool to have that kind of different, kind of have that balance and learn from each other, you know, like appreciate each other and stuff, you know. And but, you know, but yeah, basically I think the biggest lesson I've got in recent times is that, you know, I used to be really self-conscious and really hard on myself, and I used to give like all this kind of power and all this value and all this like, I don't really know how to describe it, but basically like I based everything that I am on the opinion of other people, and I took it to my heart, and I kind of wore it like my skin, like that's who I really was. Like whatever these people said about me or whatever they thought about me, I would actually think, well, that's who I am and that's all I ever will be, and I can't be anything other than just that. But then as you get older and you find yourself and all that, you kind of realize that it's just a projection. It's just their opinion. It's just how they see the world, and it's not exactly how things are. They're not like these fucking unbreakable fucking facts. They're just opinions. Like, that's all they are. And I mean, you can hear people out, but you don't have to fucking take it to the heart. And when you find yourself and you find that kind of self-respect and self-love, then like other people's opinions, they don't matter anymore. They kind of lose their strength, and you don't give a fuck anymore. Because you know who you are and where you're going and what you've been through, and no one can take that away from you. Only you know what you've been through. So, and I'm striving for peace and just have like a healthy peace of mind, and be my own fucking human being, and strive for individuality, and kind of embrace all these things about myself. And obviously you want to work on yourself and grow, but I mean, you don't want to fucking lose everything that makes you you, you know what I mean? And some of those flaws, some of those imperfections, they make you who you are. And I think they make you a special human being. And once you embrace all that and you learn to love it, there's like, I mean, you're indestructible. No one can shake you, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what they fucking say or think or whatever the fuck, like, you know who you are deep down in your heart, and that's all that matters. Like, who gives a shit, you know? Whatever they say, good or bad, it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? And don't just base yourself on the opinion of other people and just, wear that shit like that's really who you are, because it's not. You know who the fuck you are, you know what I mean? And that's all that matters. I said I fucking rambled long enough. I probably made no fucking sense, but who gives a shit, you know what I mean? I mean, you're on this fucking third rock from the sun, on this fucking levitating fucking rock. When you're this fucking tiny little being in this fucking vast fucking big fucking empty universe. So, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? What the fucking guy down the street thinks of you, or whoever the fuck, like, none of this shit fucking matters. So you have to find out for yourself what matters to you, and hold that shit dear to your heart, and fight for it and live for that. That's what really matters in this life, kind of figuring out what's worth living for and what's worth fighting for, And I guess find people that kind of share your same sentiment, if you will, So, that's it, cocksuckers. Peace and love. Peace and love, my dude. And go fuck yourself.